Testing 1, 2, 3. Is this going through? Okay, greetings fellow beings. Didn't know if I was getting through for a second there, but here we are. Okay, if you're here for Cities Skylines or Stardew Valley, I gotta say, different hobby this time. It's even a little different from crochet, though that's a bit closer. I have my kit from the folks at Stitching the Situation. So they are a group that is putting together, basically using a data representation as their starting point, a crafting project about the COVID pandemic, and specifically my kit is US cases. I think they have some others also, or at least I'm sure they would like to if they don't already have that planned. So you can find their site. So yeah, I have taken the outer envelope off this because I didn't want to dox myself. It was, mailed, but otherwise it is exactly as it came to me. So everybody is doing a different day. I got November 23rd. I'm not daunted. So this is the pattern. You'll notice there's not a lot of pattern involved. I found out why that is. So we get to come up with our own design within this space. Apparently some people are just stitching it with the assigned frame colors, and other people are doing more. She said some people are also doing sequins. Sorry about that. I don't think I'm gonna do sequins. Oh, mother fracker. Okay, why is audio not coming through? Okay. Why would... I'm gonna kill this and start it over. No, I don't want to... nothing I said is in there though, right? Mute and start over? Do you hear me now? I wish I had chatters so someone would tell me if I were muted. I don't want to just be muted. How do I do this? Let's see. What I'd like to do is... Okay, stream health is excellent now. Maybe I had just momentarily hit a button. I don't know. Okay, if it got lost before... So I'm not exactly sure how much came through before. But other than the fact that I took off the outer envelope that had my address on it because I'm not trying to dox myself, because first off, not only do I want to not deal with the kind of people that crawl out of the woodwork when you get doxed, but the second thing about it is the kind of people who show up at your house when you get doxed would be really fucking disappointed. By the way, this is about COVID, so I'm gonna get cussy. Let's just face it. This is going to happen. This is not a stream for the little ones. Okay, so I am so freaking broke. I'm an adjunct professor, only they haven't had anything on the roster for me for some time, so I work in the tutoring center, doing a job that's meant for students, but, you know, they have so few students who stick around because it's a junior college. By the time they've passed a class and are eligible to tutor, they're moving on. The good ones move on quickly, you know? So yeah, so they let professors who have time also tutor. So, but the pay rates and the lack of being included in normal work incentive things reflect the fact that they expect it to be a student job. So yeah, and good Lord, I wish we could get a union together, because HR won't let us work over a certain amount of hours that would cause us to get benefits. But I'm like, well, why not just work us if you need work done and give us benefits? I could use a decent dental plan. I could use a mediocre dental plan. So anyway, don't really need a vision plan because these are zennies, and my husband has a vision plan available, but we don't get it because even with the vision plan, it would cost more, let alone the premiums, than just, you know. Yeah, anyway, that's a digression. But where was I going with? Oh, yes, I'm broke. So if you get my address somewhere else, don't bother showing up here. I don't own anything worth stealing. I just don't. My so-called gaming rig is not that good. You've all seen that it crashes and stuff. Anyway, and this, you know, most of my software is open source. You can just download that where it comes from. Anyway, so the kit. This is the kit for November 23rd of 2020. We are now in 2025, as in 2020 version 5. Because we're just going to let it go on in the name of normalcy. I guess instead of the new normal where we wear masks, at least during certain, you know, high transmission seasons, we have the new normal where, okay, so here's how my week has gone. Monday, first day back will be first day back. Okay, you're going to be tired after that. Accepted. Normal. Standard. Okay, except not this tired. Tuesday, you know, trying to get dressed and go to work. Instead, I had to catch my breath for a second. I ended up just laying down. Didn't fall asleep. No, worse. I mean, better in one way, but worse. Literally threw up just sitting there in bed. Couldn't do anything about it. So it's like, just from overtiredness. Because after having COVID, yeah, my streak was 4 years. It got me. So, after having COVID, about a year ago now, a little over a year ago at this point, I was not 100%, but I was holding my own. I had a bit of a flare-up that I am pretty sure it was persistent virus related, because the symptoms were so consistent with some of the things I had been struggling with afterward, to a lesser degree, and, you know, kind of off and on and diminishing with time. And I was, you know, guardedly optimistic about it. But it was so much of a coming back of all the things. I tested negative, but if it was already in there somewhere instead of anywhere near my my sinus area, that's what you would expect on the nasal swab. So I think I've got a persistent virus case, which, you know, fuck. There's no good features of having persistent virus in your body. The best you can hope for is it's something like a cold sore that is just annoying, but this was more than annoying. So yeah, after that, I'm really struggling to get back consistently to, you know, feeling up to anything. So this week, with first week back doing the work thing, that was a lot. Okay, so November 23rd, these people's streak was much shorter than mine. Here we've got the chart, some details and directions. Let's see. And then the log if anyone helps me with this. Okay, so that's the paperwork. Kind of need to not lose that, but I do have a copy of it in an email. So if it comes right down to it, I do have the option to print more. Okay, now we have the fabric, and this is unfolding a lot. I'm gonna embiggen me again. Okay, that blue border around there outlines the area I will need to stitch to fill in, representing new cases on my assigned day, November 23rd. Yes, 23rd. This red square here represents people that in particular died that day. Why is that bobbing? Sorry. Oh wait, none of you see that. And it's also labeled up here, November 23rd. So yeah. A few other details. There we go. Okay, so they threw in a needle threader, which I never use, but maybe I will instead of, you know, suck the end or something, because my mouth just went dry thinking about that. Let's crack a ginger ale open. Why ginger ale? Because let's face it, 100% is not the level my stomach is at. Fuck COVID. And then there's one embroidery needle. Am I going to keep up with one embroidery needle through this whole project? No. Do I already own more embroidery needles? Yes. Do I know where they are? In here somewhere. Am I going to end up at the store for more embroidery needles? Yes. and the thread. Now, if you are a person who has done this sort of thing, you probably noticed that this amount of thread and that amount of fabric do not go together. You are right. We are also meant to provide our own thread in the same or matching colors. Just a second. What is this? Ah, it is a sticker. I need to check and see if I'm supposed to do anything particular with that sticker or just stick it wherever I want to stick it. Whoops. Sorry. Not trying to make anyone seasick, I promise. What's the sticker for? You get to watch me flipping through the instructions because that's exciting. Let's see. It doesn't seem to say anything about the sticker. I think I can do whatever I want with the sticker, but I'm gonna wait to find out for sure. Now, is it white background or clear background? Okay, it's opaque. I don't know, I might put it on my... Okay, so a while back, or let me back up. Okay, I suspect the point of sending at least some thread, well, I suspect there are two purposes to that. One is so that people can at least start on the frame right away. If they need to do anything like ask around about shopping in other people's stashes, or, you know, wait for payday or anything like that to get their own thread, which, you know, fair. I mean, I say I'm broke. I'm not quite can't buy embroidery thread broke. I have been at times. Okay, so I suspect the other reason, though, for including some red and some blue is as a reference that people can hold up next to things and see if they're, like, actually hue matched. Sorry, we're improvising with the phone here. Now, I think this may have actually said... Okay, yes. Those are DMC 498 and DMC 820, so that's another way to tell. Now, I haven't looked up all of them, but of the ones I've looked up, this thread, the numbers on this thread, although it's a knockoff, seemed to be using the same numbers as DMC. Now, what I don't know is how well they matched. Okay. think this looks like it belongs. I don't know, it might be a little more purple. Okay. Stash is over here. Reference is over here. Yeah, I think the reference is a little more purple than these from the stash. These from the stash are a little more orange. Okay, that's almost too bright. Yeah, yeah, it's not just that it's darker than those, it's that it's purple compared to them. Okay. Now these pinks here, some of them are a little purple compared to I don't know, I keep coming back to this one. But I do think, yeah, it shows more on the screen right now, but yeah, the stash is a little bit orange compared to the reference. On this one, oh yeah, it's even easier to tell on that one. Okay, now these look a little less orange than their surroundings, so I'm gonna take a look at them along with it. This one in particular is a pretty good match. I'm going to hold it out. Now, that one looks orange next to it. Okay. Okay, so I've got one that matches the red family. Probably going to need to take these to the craft store. Here that tends to mean Michael's or else Walmart. We do have a Hobby Lobby. I just don't like some of the stuff they've pulled toward their workers. Okay. Now this is... There's nothing teal about it. We are making a mess of the stash. Let's just accept it. Whoop, sorry. Okay, now. This says it's 820. Do any of you say they're 820? Because that would clear up. This says it's 823. Yeah, DMC color numbers, I think, are basically Pantone before there was Pantone. Okay, here's the reference coming across it. What do we see that looks like a hue match? This one, I mean, it's definitely lighter, but the hue looks right. These others are less saturated. I'm wondering if part of the problem is the numbers I looked up. I looked up online and, you know, color matching is hard, and if they had the same problem that color matching is hard. Because these all look kind of desaturated next to this one. So maybe .23 looks like it's got some teal in it. I don't know. Does it really look like it's got teal in it, or? You know, those do seem like a pretty good match in hue. Let's see. That one works. Well, okay, these are definitely too teal leaning. This one also, that's like almost a sea foam. Sorry. This one's teal leaning. But these other two, of these two, this one's the more teal, so yeah. Toss this, keep that. Yeah, I'm changing my mind back again. That one is too teal, but this one isn't. Okay. Okay. Found five colors here that seem like they work with the blue. Okay. Not a bad stash shop. Well, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It's my cell phone is the thing. And I've got this clip-on grabby arm. So I think, yeah, that part of the idea, like I was saying, of having materials that go through all the same place that we're all matching off of is, in principle, if we all match to those materials, we should also match to each other. And that is kind of important in a group project. Now, in practice, obviously we don't know how careful everyone's going to be about it. So I'm going to need to figure out a design, and I've never done something this big that I've figured out a design from scratch for, both just as in the size of it and the importance. Because, like, each of the blue stitches is someone who got sick that day. Each of the red stitches is someone who died that day. So it's, I mean, in part it's a bit of a memorial. It's a bit of an answer to the question of what do we do with if we don't, like, if we feel more like screaming than like clapping. Because, like, some places, you know, they clapped at a certain time for their local healthcare workers, which, I mean, is nice and all. Like, yes, showing respect for the people, saving people's butts is a good thing, of course. Like, but, I mean, first off, First off, I'm not sure that ever really got going right here where I'm at. I never heard anyone out in the wild doing that. And second, it's kind of BS to like, to clap for people but then not listen to what they need to set up this superhero narrative. Because the problem with being a superhero is superheroes aren't supposed to need anything from anybody. They're just supposed to go to their, I don't know, fortress at the North Pole or whatever it is in their thing. And the problem is when you turn everyone who's trying to do something into a superhero, then they're not allowed to need anything even for it, let alone for themselves. They're not allowed to be human, and it gets everyone who is only human conveniently off the hook. And so while I never had a problem with the act itself of, you know, clapping, yeah, what I always really wanted to do was scream, because I would I would, check the latest figures and all that. And they say my people are bad at empathy, but how are we bad at empathy when even hearing about a lot of people getting sick feels like a punch in the gut? It only at least a punch in the gut you could block. Okay, yes, I will try to use the needle threader since they sent it to me and everything. Terrible habit. Never do that. By that, I mean hold a needle in your mouth when you find that you have a needle in your hand and you need a hand free. I mean, I guess it's technically less worse with sewing needles than the other kind, but that bar is low. But yeah, I wanted to fix things and we could have tried to fix things. And is it that weird to think it would be nice if things were somewhat better? And and if we had had actual serious public policy. Okay, there we go. If we'd actually had what you would call serious public policy about stomping this thing down, I don't think I would have been working from home on account of being sick as a dog Tuesday. Because I've been really careful, and it was a big spike that also got a lot of other really careful people that got me. I don't think we should be letting the spikes go that bad. There's people that'll say it's not the spikes that tell the story at this point. It's the fact that even the low tide levels of them, of transmission, this is 3 strands, by the way, split out of 6, that even the lows are like higher than the old highs. And I mean, okay, yes, that definitely is an important failure of policy. The fact that even what we're calling the good times now are worse than when people were taking it seriously. But Damn it, the spikes count too. It just doesn't seem like a good idea to flood the zone with something that has long-term effects that we're still figuring out, but like nothing we know is basically everything we find out, it gets worse. And like we keep doing, like I heard there was a study that came out recently to the effect that people still have the virus after 4 years in the bone marrow of their skull. And it's like, okay, first off, I didn't even know skulls had bone marrow. I thought that was like an arms and legs thing. So I learned something. But also, it's only been around just a little over 5. Research publication is not instantaneous, so I am pretty sure up to 4 years meant the study was 4 years. Not that it goes away then. Oh, just a minute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. The downsides of, using your phone as one of your pieces of streaming equipment. So yeah, when I'm cross-stitching, I do not generally do one stitch at a time. I almost always do rows or columns or some kind of contiguous or near contiguous figures because I don't know if it actually is faster, but it feels faster. And it's supposed to be fun, so So when I'm doing cross stitch, I generally do the like upward diagonal first and then the downward diagonal second. Although I might do them from either like side depending on how I'm finding stitches that are contiguous or near contiguous. November 23rd, 2020. I need a calendar of November. That's 2024. No, I need 2020 with another 0 instead of a 4. Okay, so this was the Monday before Thanksgiving. Let's see. Whoops. Since I noticed that right away, instead of just having a couple of stitches out of sequence, I'm going to go back through the hole. There we go. And then I see what happened. I thought I had already stitched into that one, but I had not. That's where the tucked in thread ends. I usually tuck in. I don't know. It just seems right. I know there's nothing wrong with tying a knot also if, you know, if you're planning on, like, backing the thing especially. It seems like we... seems... we use the numbers to summarize. It seems like a lot of the time the summary hides that behind the summary number there's 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and so on, but and so on is imaginary. We agree to understand that it means that the pattern is continued in the expected way, but okay. Posture and stretch break time. We got a yawn in there for free. Oh yeah, yawns are always free. You make it yourself from scratch. Okay. They haven't found a way to charge for that yet. Situation is unreasonable. Some of these people probably caught the crud. Not the blue ones. They're the ones that... Now, I'm going to need to check whether it's that they caught it that day or were diagnosed that day. I'm not sure which definitions this is going off of. But the red, that's straightforward because you only, die the having to stay that way kind once. it some of these people in this red square over here caught it voting. The timing's about right. It was, again, a few weeks previous. Of those, it seems likely that some of them were voting for someone to fix this, and instead they got someone who continued the policies that election was a referendum against. There's a very good chance that this square would be smaller if those people had not decided to go out and vote. And for what? In case anyone's wondering my politics, I think both fandoms are ridiculous. And I think treating the two, like, fandoms in the way that people that buy into them do is non-trivially part of how we got here. Did I just lose all my subscribers? Oh well! You know, if you think about it, though, cross-stitch was pixel art before they called it pixel art. Maybe I should run a class on fabric pixel art. And I really need a better setup for this. If I move you like so. am so sorry if I'm making anyone seasick. That is absolutely not my intention. I'm trying to at least go smoothly. Okay. I'm still mostly getting up here, aren't I? Because that's where the camera is. What if we turn the phone around? Whoa. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Oh, as for why I didn't try to puts tension on the cloth. Makes it need more blocking and stretching out and ironing and all such unpleasantness. Get in a groove. Oh, ear itches. Yeah, that figures. Yeah, I know it's upside down compared to the view it was in, but honestly what I'm doing right now doesn't really matter for that. Whoop. Sorry.
home.
Yay!
There's food.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it right here for you to bring.
Okay.
And you can bring it as soon as you want to.
Okay. I didn't have enough I didn't have enough projects, so I got a new one.
Oh, always fun.
Yeah. Have you heard of Stitching the Situation?
No.
Okay, well, it's it's a project of doing like data representation in cross-stitch form of the pandemic.
Oh.
I got assigned November 23rd of 2020.
Oh. Okay. Ow.
So, the blue outlined area represents people who got sick that day. And then the red outlined area represents people who died that day.
Ah.
Yeah. 1 stitch per person.
Oh, wow.
I may have, gotten myself into something here.
It looks like you did.
Yeah, it's kind of huge. It's bigger than a pizza.
Yes, considerably bigger than a pizza.
Yeah.
Bigger than 4 pizzas.
I mean, it depends on the pizza at that point.
Well, average pizza.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're talking about, like, share around the table size pizza, it's bigger than that pizza. Though.
Yes. I'm going to go and get these shoes off because I am in a lot of pain.
Oh.
And then I'm going to go and throw myself onto a sofa.
Yeah, did you find out if you can get a replacement toe shim for, until you can get to your insoles?
No, I didn't have time today.
Oh.
That's not really bothering anything, I don't think, at this point. And I'll get those on Monday, so...
Yeah.
I'm going to try to stay off of my feet as much as I can.
Yeah.
Which is going to be hard because I'm working again tomorrow. But, yay!
Yay!
Okay.
Wait, why are you...
Huh?
Tomorrow is Saturday, right?
Yes.
What's...
I have to go and deal with the electrician tomorrow.
Oh, that's when they're coming out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
Okay, good luck.
I'll see you in there.
Okay, I'll be there shortly.
Good. Thanks.
Okay, well, that's it. That's the stream. But if you want to do some data representation... Let me just... But if you'd be interested in doing some data representation in cross-stitch form, as you can see, cross-stitch is... Well, I mean, I've done a bunch of half crosses. I'll do the other half when I come back on it. But yeah, it's... They've got some smaller days also, is what I heard. So don't count yourself out entirely just because mine is bigger than a pizza. And you can also get helpers to help with yours. So like Mr. Rogers said, of course, now that we're all grown, we would call him Fred. Look for the helpers. I mean, it's okay. I think adults should look for the helpers if they're bleeding or comparable, or look for the helpers to join them. It's also okay, though, to look for potential helpers and gather them up and be helpers together. That's definitely an acceptable use case of look for the helpers that don't know they're helpers yet. Okay, anyway, that's it. That's